there are people out there at this moment who think that we are living in a post-racial America, and they want to think that because, first of all, they lie and say that, well, it's because we think that if we keep telling people that they're to blame for your problems, or we keep breaking up the history of others where we had nothing to do with that, it's always going to put a wedge between us. It's always going to make us separated. We're always going to be pointing fingers and blaming each other. That's not the case at all. People just don't like history if they're not the heroes.
That's true.
Right.
Let me put it up here. So I don't want to bring anybody down with this, but this is something that just happened. And since I was talking about Elvis yesterday, somebody said, you kind of keep it real with things. So you don't do a whole lot of social discussions like you used to, and would love to hear what you thought about this latest case that everybody's been talking about, especially today, given what's happened. And, if you were on the news today, listening to the news today, if you're online, you probably heard the verdict on the AHMAUD Arbery case. And if you need something, to be refamiliarized with that, refreshed on that. So AHMAUD Arbery was the guy that was jogging, and he went onto what some guys thought was private property, and he was chased down by these guys over here who sought him out with a shotgun. And when they caught up to him, they got very aggressive and they shot him and they killed him. The thing that happened today that made a big impact is that these guys were already being convicted for murder here, but today they were convicted for hate crimes. And you're looking here at
federal court, yeah.
Yeah. Travis Michael, William Roddy Bryan, and Gregory McMichael are the guys that you see here. And I want to talk about this. First of all, I want to talk about this because, man, you'd be surprised how hard it is to try somebody on a hate crime case.
Sure.
Even when it's obvious that this was a hate crime, but you got to have some strong evidence about it, and that's kind of what happened today. And this case with this happening today, and knowing how hard it is to actually convict somebody on a hate crime, just had me thinking and being really upset about everything that's happening right now. First of all, I don't want to just sit up here and talk about this whole thing, 'cause I know you guys got feelings about this too. Can't really say that you're happy about this. Can't really come up because it's such a tragic thing. Somebody lost their life.
Absolutely.
Nobody. I wish there was nothing to convict here, and I wish this guy was still alive.
Right.
This guy was just jogging, and these people, and yes, a lot of people really want to sit up here and say, well, you don't know if he was profiled. These guys said that the stuff was missing on properties all the time. This is what always happens when it's clear that people were clearly being chased down because of what they look like. And I don't want to, I don't want to profile these guys, but you can kind of look at these guys in a way and tell, like, hey, but the way they look like, you could tell that what they were thinking about this guy when they caught him.
Sure.
It's just
audio too.
Yeah, and it's really, when you hear people just always trying to dance around and just try not to admit the obvious, it's so frustrating, man. And that's I think that's why so many people, if you see people sitting up here talking about they're glad that this happened, and because I've even heard people say, well, it's sad all around. You still got 3 guys who are going to jail for the rest of their lives.
Oh, so please don't.
Yeah, I don't want to really. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, because a man, they're going to. You know what? They're going to jail for the rest of their lives while they have their lives. That guy is not going to have a chance to live the rest of his life.
And he was young.
Yeah. But talking to people all the time who just try to, bend over backwards to find anything but the, to admit anything but the obvious.
Sure.
It's just so frustrating.
It's frustrating.
And that frustration made me think about everything that's happening. And if this doesn't put into perspective what's happening in this country right now, then I don't know what to tell you. But please, I would like to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you want to share anything.
Well, I didn't really have anything prepared to say about this. You're right about how hard it is to convict somebody of a hate crime.
Yeah.
So I am, as these things go, glad that this came through, because it'll at least pave the way for other people to go like, oh, this is the route you take when something is an obvious hate crime and they don't want to convict on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I put off watching the footage for a long time, but I was at a friend's house and there was a big special on, I think it was 2020, and we sat there watching the whole thing. And it was like, man, this is unmistakable that they just decided, got a mob mentality and saw this kid and just thought, yeah, we're going to hunt him down. And the idea that like, oh, well, we had to protect ourselves because he grabbed our guns. It's like, well, you shoved your gun in his face.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do?
Yeah, there was no win from this. I'm going to let Billy talk on this, but here's the news again for anybody who needs some more information or details about what happened with this case.
Hunting him down, chasing him, cornering him, capturing him, and then killing him. So the conviction on these federal hate crimes charges, that's the significance of it.
And also keep in mind that it's Georgia, and they say it's the first time they've had this happen.
Sure.
Like, this. Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
Oh no, there's another reason for that too, because in the state, murder's a state charge, not a federal charge.
Yeah.
And that in the murder trial, the prosecutor stayed away from talking about racism because the
that's
jury
right.
did not represent.
Yeah.
Black, the jury was not racially made up of people that would represent who would normally care about that kind of thing.
Right,
so they stayed away purposely. It was a brilliant tactic too, to stay away from racism and then just say, look at the facts. This shit shouldn't have happened. And the judge knew it was about racism. The judge said, like he said it in his statement.
Yeah.
White judge was great. I don't know if you saw that statement, long ass statement he made. He even said they chased him for 5 minutes, and then he said, just so you know, he's like, I don't care, it's my courtroom. We're going to sit here for 1 minute, unless you see how long that takes. Keep in mind, he was running for 4 more minutes than that, running, him being chased the entire time. Can you imagine just being chased? Not jogging, but being chased by people for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And then,
but when you think of that, he was being chased by a lynch mob.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. So, so when they went to the federal case, which is, violation of civil rights, which is a hate crime, that's when they were like, okay, no, this is because he's black and this and that. But I thought it was great that on the state charge, they didn't even do that. So then he said, somebody wants to come say something? No. This was just a straight up murder. That's what happened. Unprovoked, unsolicited. Just you saw somebody who you thought shouldn't have been there. You chased them down. You did not obey the law. The cops on the phone told y'all to back the off. You didn't do that, and you killed him. And so that's what that was about. And that's what they hit him with, like 23 counts.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is a very similar case that happened with, what's his name?
Zimmerman?
George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman going after Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Right.
And because they didn't have enough evidence, which, why? The police told him not to go out
Exactly.
there. People knew that there was a struggle.
One person was armed, one person wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's enough right there.
You look at all this, and it goes to show you just how much people want from you to prove this shit out here. But
certain people.
Yeah, certain people. But
No, I'm saying with certain people, how much they want you to, how much they require as evidence for certain victims, certain defendants.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
But the significance of this, people should be paying attention, because people think that we're kind of a post-racial America.
Oh, hardly.
Yeah,
Shit.
no, but they do, and I keep telling people, you heard me harp on this for a few days, and before I do that, listen, I gotta pay our bills around here. I'm not trying to come in and profit off of somebody's misfortune here or anything. I'm at a spot where I have to play a commercial, so I'm not making some crazy segue. I'm not trying to come in here and make some cheap money or anything. I have a pretty much an obligation to do this right now. So people, I have to just do this ad real quick, but. I've talked about this thing before, and I use it all the time. I'm talking about stamps.com. I'm just going to do this real quick. You've heard me talk about stamps.com before, and one of the things that people hate doing is standing in line, and people really hate standing in line at the post office. Hey, if you were sending off packages during Christmas and the holidays, you know what I mean. Thing pisses you off like nothing else. There's some moments I wish I used stamps.com when I was doing stuff to be mailing back and forth during our shows.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it at the time because I was so busy, but that would have helped me immensely. And as I said, stamps.com saves you time and money. You get discounts that you can't find anywhere else, like up to 40% off of USPS rates and 76% off of UPS rates. And you go to stamps.com and use the promo code TOASTED right here. You know, you can use that where you can get a 4-week trial, free postage, a digital scale, and no long-term commitment. I want to thank stamps.com for sponsoring this portion of the show. And of course, thanks to all of you for your support. All right. So listen, thing is with this whole situation with Ahmaud Arbery and many other cases out there, there are people out there at this moment who think that we are living in a post-racial America. And they want to think that because, first of all, they lie and say that, well, it's because we think that if we keep telling people that they're to blame for your problems, or we keep breaking up the history of others where we had nothing to do with that, it's always going to put a wedge between us. It's always going to make us separated. We're always going to be pointing fingers and blaming each other. That's not the case at all. People just don't like history if they're not the heroes.
That's true.
Right.
People don't like history. Yes, I'm talking about critical race theory, and I'm connecting it to this case right here, because the reason why we got people right now, one of the biggest things that was happening, you have this woman here. She's a sportscaster. You've heard about her, Michelle Tafoya. She's getting, she just got out of sportscasting for the NFL, and now she's saying, I'm going into things that I'm really passionate about, like going against critical race theory. Because my child had a friend who was black, and they were thick as thieves, and now because they want to come in and bring in all this history and bring in all this blaming, now they're separating this friendship because they're making my kid feel bad about his skin color. And it's like,
oh, wow.
Okay, so you're worried about your kid feeling bad about his skin color because just history, you don't want to hear it. Where another kid's skin color could mean that he could actually die.
Yeah.
And I guarantee that story's not true, by the way, just so you know.
Probably.
I'm just calling
Probably.
bullshit on her story.
It's probably
They make these stories up with these.
There's a big thing going on with, especially with a lot of moms and trying to upset these school boards, and it always comes down to, you can't believe the things my kid came home from school and said this, and they told him this, and a lot of that I go like, you're full of shit. That didn't happen.
No, that didn't happen. Know what it is? These parents feel bad. They feel uncomfortable. They don't like it. Maybe racists don't want to admit it, or maybe they know it and just don't want to put it out there because they don't want to risk. They don't, they don't want to own up to it because I'd respect the real racists out there for putting it out there instead of somebody who's hiding behind it because they don't want to lose some shit.
Oh, sure.
But they what they do is that they cast that on their kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And try to they project it on their kids and try to use them as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
Right.
And and that's bullshit, people. None of these people sit back and they never ask us when these discussions come up. Tucker Carlson doesn't have people who look like us to talk about this. These school board meetings and all the panels, they don't ever have a person of color unless that person is there saying, I'm black and I agree. They don't ever do that. But it's easy for you to sit up here and say, oh, my feelings are hurt, or I don't like this, I don't want to hear it, when we got to hear about this kind of shit all the time. The reason why that they were able to go in and book them on hate crime charges is because they had all this stuff from social media where it was ugly racial stuff.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to read you one of these. There was a text message from Travis McMichael complaining about black people at a local restaurant. Need to change the name from Cracker Barrel to N-word bucket.
Jesus.
There was a video shared by McMichael on Facebook of a black boy dancing on the Ellen DeGeneres show. The original music cut out and swapped for the racist song Alabama N-word by Johnny Rebel. The music went on for an uncomfortably long time, the dehumanizing lyrics blasting through the courtroom like something from a blackface minstrel show. A comment under a video of Black Lives Matter protesters in which McMichael wished for a semi-automatic rifle in order to shoot the people he described as goddamn monkeys, and post advocating driving into a group of black people with the vehicle. You
Wow.
know,
and they played all that in the court.
And they played all that in the court.
Oh, in the court. He's probably like,
Yeah, right.
When people talk about, and you know what, this is what made it to the surface. This is what made it to the surface because there was a guy who was murdered. There's so many aggressions that are happening. Now, I know people die all the time because of many reasons. I know, you know, there's all kind of aggressive people out there for different reasons. However, how dare you sit up here and say, don't talk about history because we live in a post-racial America. It was so convenient for people to say that who don't have to deal with it, who don't have black friends around, who don't have black people to comment on these groups, for you to say that, oh, no, everything is fine, but you keep wanting to bring up shit. I don't know. I mean, is it inconveniencing you to talk about a guy that was hunted down and murdered for being his color?
right. By a guy who wants to change the name of Cracker Barrel to the N-word bucket because he saw a couple of black people there?
Because he saw a goddamn monkey running?
Well, I've gotten into these discussions with people where I bring something up and they go like, oh, great. Already you're playing the race card. And I'm like, so wait, speaking up for history and my rights, that's a card? That's not a card. It's just, it is what it is. You just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you, you know what? It makes you uncomfortable. But to hear this story right here, it makes me scared.
Yeah.
You don't understand. A lot of people, how dare you say this is post-racial America when there still are parts of America we cannot maneuver through easily.
Can't even jog through.
If there's one, and there's more, but if there's just one city in this country that they are proudly telling you that you cannot live there because of you cannot be there safely because of your color. And I man, you know, this is bad on me because I just thought of this and I don't have the city, but you can look it up. There's a city where they say you don't want to live there. They are very open about black people not being there, or maybe some other people. If there's one city like that, that's too much, and that is not post-racial.
Right. Though it's good that they advertise it, so you know.
Somebody said Anna, Illinois. That might be it.
I thought it was Vidor, Texas.
But you know,
Vidor's changed.
Yeah. Stop sitting up here when we have cases. It's insulting and it's angering to sit up here and we have cases like this man who had to die just for some people, in some people's eyes, being in the wrong place or where he didn't belong. AHMAUD Arbery. You know, you got that right there screaming in your face and you sit up here and say, there's no racism. But you just keep bringing up old shit. Ah, man. You know, you got this right here. You wonder why, why you're uncomfortable. We are frightened that we can't maneuver through certain areas.
Sure.
I don't know. What do y'all got to say?
No. I mean, like you said, there's that certain section of the United States where I'm just like, I do not feel comfortable spending the night here, or even driving through if I don't have to.
Hey, check this out. No, I'm good. I'm
As long as you can go anywhere you want to. But I have to think about. This always has to be in the back of my mind. Am I allowed here? You know, is this dangerous for me?
Right.
Is this a place? If I'm not even forgetting being killed, will I just be harassed? You know, or,
Will I just be completely uncomfortable because someone will harass me? Will I just want to get up and leave as soon as that because of that? Like at the Cracker Barrel. Which one he was at? Yeah,
people. That's really what I want to put out there with this. It's insulting to people like him that has to die, and you deny that anything racial had to do with it. It's a shame that you say that this is not America when clearly there's a lot of people too many people that think like these men right here.
Right. Or to not talk about it at all in the media, or just to ignore it, like it didn't happen.
Yeah, but
that's
these guys did what they did, and they saw themselves as heroes.
Oh yeah, they did.
And with the prosecutor treating them that way.
Yeah, that's why they replaced the prosecutor. Me and Martin were discussing before the show started, and it's like, and they were like, we good.
No, you boys did good. Don't worry about it. I got it covered.
That's why they thought they were good.
Just go home. Don't worry about it.
And then they got that knock on that door. I didn't order pizza. Did you? Oh shit.
And we always have to worry about. If they didn't, one of those guys recorded it, right?
Yeah.
And that one of their own guys recorded.
They felt that safe about it.
Yeah, they felt that safe about doing this. They felt that this man's life wasn't worth that much that they could actually videotape it and be applauded for it.
And that opinion was immediately validated that's what 2 years later. Now
Yeah.
we get the verdict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that family had to keep fighting to go like, hey, somebody do something.
They weren't
going to
do shit about it.
Yeah, they weren't.
Yeah.
That's why they said that they've had to take which is not easy to get a prosecutor removed from a case, by the way. That's
Yeah.
damn near impossible.
And if that person hadn't filmed that, we probably wouldn't even be here talking about that.
Right.
Those guys would be free.
If it weren't for their own hubris.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
true.
So how dare you sit up here without inviting me to the table for a discussion? I say me. When I say me, I mean people that look like us here. When you don't invite me to the table to talk about it, but you speak for me when you have all the privilege to do whatever the you want to do.
They sure will speak for us too, won't they?
They sure will. They say, they'll tell us we're full of shit, but won't let us speak for ourselves.
Nope.
So people. I didn't mean to bring your evening down, but that's just something I had to do, man. Something I had to talk about right there. Because apparently people, hey, if they won't let us to the table to discuss something, we have to find some kind of outlet to tell people.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.